create your own bust ham with ease. Here you can see this is a ball, children's ball, the noisy type. I cut into two and reduced the size to the level I want. Okay, so this is a foil, the normal foil you use for moi moi. I used it to cover the edges to reduce the noise. So I've cut out a piece of fiber which is enough to cover the ball on all sides. So I'm going to be covering up the ball with my fiber, matching from opposite direction. Okay, thread your needle and thread, use it to tack it down first. Okay, you tack in opposite direction. I doubled my fiber so that it will be thick enough. So at this point I'm going to tack the four corners, all the corners, so that they will all be well tucked into the ball. Okay, I'm just going in a circular direction. Just use your hand to hold down the center part. Okay, I'm trying to secure everything at the middle point to make it more round. Be careful not to wound yourself while trying to tack this, because you cannot really see your needle from the other part, from the other end. Okay, I'm just trying to tack everything down, making sure all sides are equal if possible. Okay, at this point this is what we've got. So if you have a lot of excess at the top, you can trim it out. So the quick DIY. Okay, if you don't have enough money to get a bust ham, which is sold for like 8,000 naira, you can do this by yourself. Quick and easy. Is a very essential tool in your sewing workshop. Okay, so this is where we are. I'm just going to close up these tackings here. It's really going to be a difficult one. Okay. Okay, you can get your fiber where they sell pillow or bed sheet material. That is if you are in Aba. So I am going to give this a press to keep everything in place. Then after pressing, we'll now cover up with our fabric and we'll place on top of a paper to give it a firm hold. So I'm going to press this right now. Okay, so before you cover up your, I forgot to mention, before you cover up your ball with fiber, you can use it to trace out a piece of carton paper which you'll be using to cover up at the end of the day. So with this carton paper now, I'm just going to cut out something I'll use to cover the bottom of the carton paper, so it doesn't really look like a carton paper by the time we are done. So I'm going to use my candle gum. Let me bring camera closer. Okay, so I'm going to cover this. Okay, so it doesn't really look like a carton paper at the end of the day. Okay, so I'll be making some notches so I can be able to relax the excess. Okay, I just want to relax the excess. Okay, everything here is going to be going inside, like it's not going to be visible at the end of the day. Okay, so if you have too much of excess of this, you can go ahead and trim it out, or you can as well leave it like so, since it's not really going to affect everything we are doing. Okay, so this is the excess of this. By the time we are done, you should be able to use it to cover it up. So I have used my burr to cut out 2 pieces of my cotton fabric. It could be a lining, it could be any kind of fabric you want to use. So you can go ahead and iron this out to straighten out the lines, but this will serve for this purpose. We'll use it to cover this up. All right, okay, so I'm going to give this a very good press, then I'll use it to cover it up. Okay, we are back from ironing. You can see I had to iron this also, so this part is more smooth now, unlike this other part. So this is how we are going to be going. Okay, so I'll thread my needle. So I'm marking a circle where I'll be making a basting stitch. I would use to close up this area. To make a basting stitch, just go in and out of your fabric like so. So we'll go in this direction. Okay, so I am done basting. I'll put this at the midpoint and draw. Sorry. Okay, and pull all of these together. I'm gonna bring around my pin from here. Okay, pull everything together as much as you can. If you have a lot of excess, don't bother at the moment. Later you can always take that out. So remove folds if necessary. The folds does not affect what your hand does for you. Just pulling everything out. So I can also take this to my sewing machine and flatten the area out. Okay, we are back. We have given it a good press. So I am gonna close up my seam, pull it some more, make it a little more tight so I can cut out the excess at the top. Okay, now I've gotten what I want, so I'm just gonna trim out the excess of the fabric at the top. So if you're new to our channel, kindly subscribe, support our channel. We promise to bring you more interesting sewing hack and sewing tutorials from time to time. Follow us on Instagram, Sew with Zubs, for free illustrations. Okay, so I'm just shaping it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my gum up this place and cover it up like so. Voila. Okay, so our bust ham is ready. So if you want to tack, you can just go ahead, use your needle and thread and tack the sides. So voila, this is the old one and this is the new one. So which of them do you prefer? This is a lot more firm and this keeps rotating up and down. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I decided to add a little lift to make it a little bigger. So this is my fabric with some fiber. I've made my running stitch inside and I started my carton inside. So I'm just going to be pulling this together to bring everything close. Okay, so this is the next thing to do. I'm going to be placing this at the top and carefully stitch this together like so. I'll make my running stitch all the way down. Okay, so this is what I have now. Now this can also help when you iron your seam. You just use it to press it out, press out the seam. Okay, so I'm going to be using this Ankara just to spice it up a bit. I love colors. Take it round and close it up. Okay, so I decided to add a little lift to make it a little bigger. So this is my fabric with some fiber. I've made my running stitch inside and I started my carton inside. So I'm just going to be pulling this together to bring everything close. Okay, so this is the next thing to do. I'm going to be placing this at the top and carefully stitch this together like so. I'll make my running stitch all the way down. Okay, so this is what I have now. Now this can also help when you iron your seam. You just use it to press it out, press out the seam. Okay, so I'm going to be using this Ankara just to spice it up a bit. I love colors. Take it round and close it up.